Students, welcome to class 4 EVS chapter 4 Animal Life, Reproduction in Animals. Children, in this chapter we'll be reading about what is reproduction, how do animals reproduce, life cycle of various animals such as birds, grasshopper, butterfly, frog, etc., reptiles, mammals, taking care of young ones. So these are the topics which we were covering in this chapter. Before going to the chapter, let us discuss what are animals. So animals, as we have already studied in the first chapter, living things and non-living things. Under living things, we came across two words. One is animal and the other is plants. So we have already discussed about plants. Here in this chapter, we are going to read about animal life. Animal are the creatures which live on earth other than plant, including human beings. These animals are further divided into various types such as mammals, birds, insects, amphibians and species. Dear children, all these words are familiar to you because we have been reading about these animals since class 1 in EVS, but the word species are somewhat strange to you. This is the word which I have introduced because it includes all kinds of fishes which live in water. If I say fishes, it won't be the perfect word, so I am using this new word species, which include all the fishes which live in water. Now, let us discuss all these animals one by one. Children, it is very important to know these types of animals. Until or unless you know these animals, you won't be able to understand the reproduction in these animals. So, first type of animal is mammals. Now, mammals. We have already studied about mammals in our first chapter. Now, once again, we'll read about it. Yes. Children, here is a picture in which you can see various animals. Can you recognize these animals? Okay, I hope you all. Okay, then we'll read about the mammals. What are mammals? So, children, mammals are the animals that include all the animals that give birth to their young ones of their own kind, such as horse, donkey, cow, dog, cat, buffalo, lion, tiger, etc. You can see in the picture, here are some animals. These are mammals. All these animals give birth to their young ones of their own kind, such as horse, donkey, cow, dog, cat, buffalo, lion, tiger. So children, have you ever thought why a baby of a horse look like a horse, not like a donkey? A baby of a donkey look like a mother donkey, not like a horse. So this is only because these are the animals which give birth to the animals of their own kind, which show resemblance to their parents. So here we are going to read more about these mammals. How will you identify the mammals? You will identify them by certain characteristics which are shown by these animals, such as mammals have 4 legs. So children, mammals have 4 legs and also they are called 4-footed animal. Footage matlab the one which have 4 feet are called 4-footed animals. Children, that doesn't mean that every mammal will have 4 feet. Some animals may have 4 feet. It is one of the characteristic of the mammals. It will be shown by some of the animals, not all, such as bats do not have 4 legs or human beings do not have. So all the characteristic will not be shown by every animals. Some of them will be shown by them. Okay. So here we can see a picture of cow which has 4 legs. So they are also called 4-footed animals. Now second point is mammals have hair on their body. So here in this picture we have horse which has hair on their body. So it is not necessarily that every animal will have hair on their body. It doesn't mean that the one which do not have hair is not a mammal. So it is one of the characteristic of the mammal that they may have hair on their body and a tail. So everyone will not have a tail, but some may have tail and some may not have. So it is one of the characteristic of the mammal that mammal will have hair on their body and they may have a tail. Now third one, man is also a mammal. He uses his limbs as hands. So as I told you, I showed a picture of a cow and told it has 4 legs. Here in case of man they have 4 limbs. Okay, and 4 limbs among their 4 4 2 4 limbs they use as their hands, and they use their hind limb as their foot. So in case of mammal they have 2 forelimbs and 2 hind limb. 4 limbs are used as hands and hind limbs are used as their feet. Now mammals also feed their babies with their milk, and one of the unique characteristic of a mammal is that they take care of their young ones. It is one of the unique characteristic of the mammal is that they take care of their young ones. Now this cow has different parts. It has legs, ears, eyes and tail also. Now the next type of animal are birds. These are the animals with wings. These use their wings and feathers for flying. These include pigeon, manna, hornbill, flamingo, etc. Birds have a small head, 2 sharp eyes, a beak, 2 legs, 2 wings and feathers on their body. All birds have 2 ears. Yes children, here there is something to be noted. Birds have 2 ears. These ears are in the form of 2 holes on either side of their head. Means they do not have external ears. Here we should know there are 2 types of ears. Mammals have external ears, the ears which can be seen. They are present outside their body, but in case of birds they have internal ears. Their ear is found in the form of 2 holes on the either side of their head. So these ears are called internal ears. This is one of the characteristics which distinguish these 2 animals, mammals and the birds. So you should know, in case of mammals we have external ears. This is one of the characteristics by which you can distinguish between mammals and the birds. So birds have 2 ears, but they have their ears are only in the form of holes and they are present on either side of their head, and they are covered by the feathers. They are covered by the feathers present on their body. Now, next one. Their soft down feathers keep them warm and the long feathers help them to fly. So, these have different types of feathers. They have down feathers, body feathers and long feathers. So, down feathers keep them warm and the long feathers help them to fly. The next type of animals are reptiles. These animals crawl on their bodies. These include lizard, garden lizard, chameleon, tortoise, snake, earthworm. So here in the picture also we can see lizard, garden lizard, chameleon, tortoise, snake, earthworm. So they have two short forelimbs and two short hind limbs which cannot support their body weight. As a result, they crawl on land. Children, their limbs are their limbs and the body do not have are not in the proper proportion, so their limbs are not able to hold the weight of their body. That is why these crawl on their body on the ground. These are the animals which crawl on the ground. That is why they are known as reptiles. Reptiles such as earthworm. Earthworm has scales on their bodies. The scale protect these animals from their enemies and prevent water loss from their body. Now the next type of animal is amphibians. These include animals like frog and toad. They have 4 legs and webbed feet. They hop on land and swim in water. Here is a picture of frog. Frog has a short squat body and moist skin. Squat body means they fold their legs, both the limbs, front limbs and the back limbs, and sit on them. This posture of sitting is called squat body. And moist skin. Their skin is moist because they mostly live in stay in water. It has long hind legs that help in leaping. While leaping, they stretch and bend their limbs, 4 limbs, front 2 limbs. So they use these limbs to leap. Now, in case of toad, these toads also have squat body, dry verti skin and short legs. Both frog and toad don't have tail. These 2 animals doesn't have tail. Next type of animal is species. These are the different varieties of fishes that live only in water. They have scales on their bodies that do not allow water to stick to the body surface. They have gills which help them to breathe in water. Some fish have air bladders that helps them to float on the water surface. Now, insects. The last type of animal is insect. These includes animals which have 6 legs such as mosquitoes, houseflies, bees, cockroaches, butterflies, etc. Here in the picture we can see mosquitoes, houseflies, bees, cockroaches, butterflies, etc. Most of them are small in size and have wings for flying. Each mosquitoes and flies have 3 pairs of wings. Now, you all must have understood what are the animals and how many types of animals are present around us. So, after this, let us come to the chapter. There are many animals in our surrounding which we come across daily or we see while going from one place to another, or going to the school, while going to the school, or while going to the market. So all these you must have seen these animals, such as a cow feeding its calf, or a dog feeding its puppy. Have you seen or not, children? You must have seen. Okay. Now, have you ever wondered how these young ones of all these come into the world? From where these have come? Have you ever thought how are they born? Yes, the process by which living beings produce another one of their own kind is called reproduction. This is the process in which all the living beings have capacity to give birth to their own kind. Is called reproduction. Giving birth to their own kind means a cow will give birth to its own young one, the one which will resemble the cow. A mother elephant will give birth to a baby elephant which will resemble its mother. A man, a human being, will give birth to their young one which will resemble their parents. So, giving birth to its own kind means giving birth to the one which is same as that individual. Okay. So, every living being has the ability to give birth to one of its own kind. In this way, the cycle of life keeps on moving. If this would not happen, the life from one generation to another will not be moving. The cycle of life won't be completed or won't go on from generation to generation. If these human beings or the living creatures fail to produce their own kind, or their form will disappear. What will happen? Then their form will disappear. If an elephant stops giving birth to its young one, the whole species of the elephant will become extinct or disappear from the earth. So, it is very important for the living being to reproduce its own kind, and this process of reproduction, this process of giving birth to their own kind is called reproduction. Reproduction is an important process for every animal to continue its race. In order to continue their race, they need to give birth to their young ones.